Hello, my dear students. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about the methods of teaching foreign languages. And the next slide, it's about outline introduction part, and it's a grammar translation methods, and it's direct methods, audiolingual methods, communicative language teaching, and the other teaching methods. The last one is summary. And first of all, I want to start with introduction and what's teaching methods. Teaching methods is a way of teaching a language which is based on systematic principles and the procedures, which is an application of use on how a language is best taught and learned. Method of teaching. What's the method? The word method has been derived from Latin, which word means mode or way. And what's the method of teaching? The process of interpreting the world of knowledge to people's mind is called the methods of teaching. Seven teaching methodologies: the grammar translation methods, direct methods, audiolingualism, the situational language teaching, and the communicative language teaching, and humanistic approaches, task-based teaching. The grammar translation methods, it's the grammar translation methods of foreign language teaching is one of the most traditional methods dating back to the late 19th and the early 20th centuries. It was originally used to teach dead languages and literatures such as Latin and the Greek, and in this way account for its heavy bias towards written work to the visual explosion of oral production. The principal characteristics: classes are taught in the student's mother tongue. Vocabulary is taught in the form of isolated word choices. Elaborate explanations of grammar are always provided. Reading of difficult texts is begun early in the course of study. Little attention is paid to the context of texts, and often the only drills and exercises in translating disconnected sentences. Little or no attention is given to pronunciation. Drawbacks: no class time is allocated to follow students to produce their own sentences. There is often little contextualization of the grammar. The grammar translation methods: the traditional instructor, the authority in the classroom. What does the teacher do? Explains, translates, conducts instructions, correct mistakes. The direct methods: background and reaction to the grammar translation approach, and attempt to integrate more use of the target language in instruction. The principal characteristics: only use the target language in class, and the learner should be actively involved in using the language in realistic everyday situations. Students are encouraged to think in the target language. So speaking is taught and then only reading and writing. Strategies using direct mix, and the teacher asks question of any nature and the students answer. Dictation: the teacher shows a grade appropriate passage and read the text loud. Reading loud, and the students take turn reading sections of a passage, play a dialogue out loud. Getting students to self-correct: the teacher should have the students self-correct by offering them a choice between what is said and its proper pronunciation. Direct methods: it's a classroom instruction was conducted exclusively in the target language. Only everyday vocabulary and sentence were taught. Greater focus on oral communication skills were built up around question and answer exchange between teachers and the students. Grammar taught inductively. Concrete vocabulary was taught through demonstration, objects, and pictures. The third one is audiolingual methods. The background: this method is based on the principles of behavior psychology. It adapted many of the principles and the procedures of the direct methods, in part as a reaction to the lack of speaking skills of the reading approach. The method characteristics: dependence on mimicry and the memorization of set phrases. Teaching structural patterns by means of repetitive drills. No grammatical explanation. Learning vocabulary in context. Use of tapes and visual aids. Focus on pronunciation. The third one is the communicative. First one is the communicative language teaching. the background, the communicative approach could be said to be the product of educators and linguists who had grown dissatisfied with audiolingual and grammar translation methods of foreign language instruction. The regions of communicative language teaching are to be found in the changes in speech language teaching tradition dating from the late 1960s. Interest in and the development of communicative style teaching mushroomed in the 1970s. Authentic language use and the classroom changes where students engaged in real communication with one another became quite prevalent. The communicative language teaching is a term which is appeared first in Him's article on communicative competence and what contained coined by Hims and to criticize the linguistic competence which reads by Chomsky. In Chomsky's interpretation, the linguistic theory was divided into two parts: linguistic competence and the linguistic performance. The linguistic competence refers to underlying linguistic knowledge, while the linguistic performance refers to actual linguistic ability. Other teaching methods. Humanism is describing and applied linguistics as language teaching respecting the integrity of learning, allowing for personal growth and responsibility of psychological and affective factors into account, that representing whole person learning. Teaching methods and the teacher-centered, people-centered inside the class, people-centered socialized classroom techniques, the use of instruction technology. Teacher-centered lectures, demonstration, biographical, historical, team teaching, and the people-centered inside the class, laboratory, curiosity, project, assignment, discussion, and the people-centered seminars, symposium, workshop, panel discussion in the use of instructional technology, programmed instructions, use of teaching machines, personalized instruction. Interactive methods, change rules, project work, group work, jigsaw, gallery, microphone, discussion, debates, peers work, and the role playing. In summary, we can say that comparison of different teaching methods. For example, the method, teacher's role, and the learner's role. For example, the first one is method situational language teaching, and the teacher's role context center, error corrector, imitating, memorizing. Audiolinguism, we can say audiolinguism is language modeler, drill leader, and pattern practicer, tools, uses. Communicative language teaching and the total physical response, community language learning, the nature approach, such as Topedia. What's now? What's next? The future is always uncertain, and this is no less true in anticipating methodological directions in second language teaching than in any other field. Some current predictions assume the carrying on the refinement of current trends, and others appears bit more science fiction like invasion. Complex is advantage and disadvantage of direct methods. Advantages, what kind of advantage you can see, and as its disadvantages. For example, advantages in the students encouraged and motivated to use spontaneously. Second line spontaneously, its emphasis on speech made it more attractive for those who have needs of real communication in the target language. It makes the learning process interesting and fun because they encourage using it really during the learning process. Students are able to understand what they learn and enrich the lack of teachers that interested in using them and ignores reading work and reading activities and sufficient attention is not paid to reading writing skills. A large class them is not properly applied. It's not suitable for public school because it's costly. Thank you for attention. Bye.